Hey everyone, blessings everyone. Um, Good evening, at least here, 6:01 p.m. in the East Coast. It is evening, and it's Wednesday. It's November 28th already, 2018. It's getting tough out there. Sometimes it's just tough. Some days it's just tough. You know, I play that song in the beginning. There is peace in Christ for a specific reason. And if you don't hear, after hearing a 5-year-old singing about peace in Christ, if you don't, get something from that, I don't know, maybe you need something else. Maybe a 2x4 flying through the air at freaking 85 miles per hour. Maybe you need that. Realize that there's no hope in this world. There's none. There's no hope in this world. It's only in Christ. And you can still be in this world without living like this world. And to know about Christ and to understand what he did and it continues to do for us. Just prayers. Just prayers. I know you talk somewhere along the line. Everyone has talked to their God, okay, and they've made prayers because your life has not all been a bowl of roses. No, it certainly has not. Sometimes it takes for things to just come crashing down completely in order to talk to God, and I just hope in that. Yes, I hope in that you get hope from him, because he is hope. He is our hope. He is our salvation. He is our Savior. That's what he came here to do. That's what we're going to falsely, but we will praise him on Christmas Day, hopefully. Unless, of course, you go to that, second year Christmas Mass, first one being Easter. But in any case, let's get on to the news, because there's a lot of it. Keep asking my wife, let's get the heck out of Connecticut. Yep. There was a poll taken a couple years ago. This guy on the mainstream media out there, I'm trying to remember his name now. Very, very popular. He's on at noon o'clock and he's on until 3. Russ something. Something like that. But anyway, he took a poll one time. 60% of people living in Connecticut, they either, want to get out, they are either getting out, and there's others who can't get out. They can't afford to get out. They're too busy trying to pay off what their taxes or their house or their mortgages. In any case, just wanted to bring that up, to bring this up. We got to enroll in these health programs every year, okay? And so the new premium for me and my wife, 2 separate premiums, okay? Mine was $991 per month. Hers was $888 per month. That's over $1,700 per month for a basic plan for health insurance. That's what it was. So I kind of been in a panic because we got till the 15th to find another I don't know, insurance company or something along the way. and I don't know what the deal is, but somewhere along the line, and Rush Limbaugh, that's his name, somewhere along the line, and even he has mentioned that people get subsidies. And I guess what I get is a subsidy because they give us a tax credit. Now, I don't understand why we we qualify for a tax credit. We don't make that much money. So you figure it out, okay? What they were just charging, the figures I just told you, that is half of our total income for the year. Now, how can they tell me that that is right, that is fair? That's almost $20,000 for the year. We simply cannot afford to pay half of our salary. That means I'm going to work for nothing, or for a doctor visit and for prescriptions. That's what I'd be going to work for. Anyways, I just wanted to put that out there. Sometimes things, in their comfortable little bubble until it's broken with a 2x4, either falling from the sky on fire or flying through the air through a Cat 4 hurricane or tornado, whatever. Things are not normal now. They haven't been for a while. And stay tuned, because there's an article in here that also mentions December 5th. So hopefully that'll show you a little, I don't know, because there was a date put out with that video that I had everyone linked to, X-22 report about December 5th, and what Q had to say about that. And so let's just go on with what we got. I'll get to it so I don't just ramble on for the rest of the... So this is one thing. Look at this, man. I know the people that, I kind of wish you just all go over to YouTube Live. This way you can see these things right away and get the benefit from it. I do appreciate the people who come on the Mixler. I really do. And if you can't get to YouTube, I mean, all I can do is, the best thing I can do is try and describe it for you. 4 waterspouts. I mean, we're looking at, and not even a very big, wide picture of a bay. I mean, it looks fairly, not small. I mean, not huge. But anyway, 4 waterspouts are seen in one picture frame. And never ever before seen that. Never heard it reported before. I've heard it, waterspouts being spotted here and there and, come and go, but 4 at one time. It's just, wow, that's all I could say. So this was near a beach in Koh Lipe, Thailand. Yes. No, there's something else. New Zealand is in the news again today, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. So these 4 waterspouts formed almost simultaneously in the Andaman Sea, southern Thailand. That happened 3 days ago. And some of this stuff I get from watchers is older, but it's pretty good. I kind of hesitant about going back 3 days, but I'm not trying to fill up the news. Believe me, there is plenty of news out there. I can never get to all of it. Never can. So maybe sometime we'll just go and look back a couple days and see what's happened that we haven't heard of. So there's also a video in there. This is from the watchers again. I guess I can play it for the live people to see using things in action. I don't know why we got our sirens going off. It's past 6. Well, the camera's moving quite a bit. The freaking waterspouts don't seem to be moving. I wish he'd stop the camera. I just wonder if it was pasted in there, or I don't know anything about that now. But anyway, there's 4 of them in that picture. Okay, so also from the watchers, Sydney hit the worst November storm since 1984. More than a month's worth of rain in 90 minutes. I really don't know how much rain they get. I mean, I know there's some pretty parched land in Australia. Um, yeah, obviously we got a fire close by. But anyway, 90 minutes. Like I said, I don't know. Well, maybe they'll tell us. And 2 people were killed, several injured after this major storm hit Sydney, Australia. That was today, which is probably, I don't know if that was yesterday for them or tomorrow for us. I'm not sure how that goes. I think they're like 15 hours ahead of us. Well, it's obviously either ahead or behind. I'm not sure. But anyways, um, so I'm just trying to read through several hours. Observatory here recorded 4.9 inches of rain, 1.6 inches in another place. No, that's the 1.6 inches is that amount of rain that they normally get for November. And they got 4.9 within 90 minutes. So it's happening everywhere, people, even the land down under. Yeah. So according to their estimates for that intensity and that duration, that's the sort of rainfall you'd expect to occur about once every 100 years for that particular site. Yeah, so another 100-year storm in the same year. I'm talking about there's been quite a few this year and last year. You know, a lot of talk about 100-year storms, 100-year storms, 100-year storms. Record rainfall for the whole season in 24 hours. Remember, I used to say that quite a bit for one season. Yeah, a lot of people were getting record amounts of rain in 24 hours. And these people got it in 90 minutes. 4.9 inches of rain. It's an hour and a half. It's a lot of rain in an hour and a half. So, and, I only put this in here just to stress a point. Okay, this asteroid 2018 WE1 flew past Earth at 0.28 lunar distances. That means it's almost 1/3 distance from here to the moon. So it was pretty darn close. I mean, not as close as some other ones that they reported, but it was 3 days ago. Okay, it was let's see. Well, they posted it today, but I saw somewhere else that it was 3 days ago, at least, that it flew by. So the point I wanted to make was that, folks, if there's a big one coming and it's going to hit Earth, they're not going to tell you. I mean, if they do tell you, it'll probably be, you probably have an hour's worth of time, maybe 30 minutes. They're not going to tell you if something like this is going to hit because it'll just create havoc and chaos. That's it, folks. That's all it will do. I don't know why my YouTube channel is now buffering. We will refresh it. What happens? Okay, so got it settled down. In any case, I don't know why. supposed to be 5G here. Yeah, that's what Frontier said to me when they had a representative come to my door. They said that they had 5G here already. It was already installed on the telephone poles. And I'm sorry, folks, but at that time that she was mentioning, I was home all the time. I would have noticed. I'd never went out. I would have noticed somebody putting something on each pole. I would have heard it. The dogs would have barked. Just lying. And now I got stuck with this stupid service for at least a year. And, I don't have much longer to go, but worst service I've ever had. It was even worse than Dish when I had a Dish out here. That would stop in a rainfall or windy day or whatever. I get so many outages here. It's maybe I'm used to it, but I still get very irritated with it. So anyways, yeah, so they're not going to tell you, folks, so don't worry yourself about it. If you're not worried about it, go get a telescope. I actually got one here in my back porch, which I never use. Only because every time I go to look at it, I've tried it on my deck, but every time you try to focus in on it, the deck is not that solid. So just the slightest movement, and you will have a hard time adjusting to what you're seeing. So it's a lot of very fine, detailed, focusing in, and I didn't have the patience for it. Didn't know where I was looking, and mostly I just saw blurry stars. All right, I'm just checking my skyline here because the trucks are 2 streets away. And when we normally get these problems here, that transition from the cold, from the warm to the cold. Yeah, people start up stuff and they don't check, like myself. You don't check for blockages. They don't have CO2 detectors in their houses. We used to have them. But we don't have it now. I hope somebody reminds me to get one. That's the only reason I don't get it, is because I forget. In any case, let's move on. What else we got here? This was the one, I believe, no, I don't think this was December 5th. But anyway, here, a mass whale stranded in Mason Bay, New Zealand. So what normally, precedes these occurrences? What, especially with whales, creatures from the sea coming ashore, usually has something to do with the change in the water, obviously. Normally, it's probably, some fissure maybe that opened and they were poisoned or I don't know, something like that has got to have happened. Unless the Lord just said, yeah, just go beach yourself. I don't know. But usually if this happens, you could check the area. If people actually check these things, went out there in the water and actually tested the water, probably find, some chemicals from a release, some fissure, because the earth is moving around like crazy right now. So a pod of 145 pilot whales were found stranded on the beach on Stewart Island, Raikura, in New Zealand. That was on the 24th. That was 4 days ago. And I check these people almost once a day, or every other day. Every other day. So while this is the biggest stranding event, 3 more strandeds were reported over the weekend. This is not the first. And the whales were found in 2 ponds about 1.2 miles apart from each other in Mason Bay. So sadly, the likelihood of being able to successfully refloat the remaining whales was extremely low. Remote location, lack of nearby personnel, and whales deteriorating condition meant the most humane thing to do was to euthanize them. Yeah, I don't like that word. I really don't, because they're putting it out there a lot more, people. They're making it seem like it's a normal, everyday word. Didn't we just hear in Australia the other day that they passed a law to be able to euthanize someone, doctor-assisted suicides? I remember that article. Hey guys, how you doing? Andrew, Aaron. If you wanted to, you could go over there on PGN Live and watch it on YouTube. If you wanted to. But I appreciate you guys coming here, so you could do whatever you want to do. I just feel, you guys could be seeing the news as it goes by and kind of getting a little gypped watching it through Mixler. But anyway, God bless you guys, man. Thanks for coming. So anyways, we've been talking about this too. And now they have done it in Connecticut. I got this from my brother. He's a trucker. This is from Truckers Report. He is a east to west guy. He drives his trucks um, many hours. He doesn't. He gets home. He goes out for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months. Comes home for 15 days, 12 days. But he sent this report out there. Sent this to me. Connecticut is considering tolls on every single highway to raise $1 billion a year. That's all fine and dandy. They could do that in Canada now too. Well, brother, they do it in a few states here in the U.S. too. They came to Connecticut. I believe it was when I was delivering papers. Probably about it's probably 7 years now, 5 to 7 years. I stopped delivering papers, but they came here to our assembly, I guess, in Hartford, in our capital, and tried to pass that. And they denied it at the time, but it will come back. It will come back. So euthanasia. Yep. The assisted suicide by doctor, that thing. Of course, I don't know what the specifications are, but it'll be back in Connecticut. It's going to pop up in a lot of places. You'll probably they're trying to get you used to it now. I mean, Australia. I mean, okay, so many things going on there in Australia now, and I don't know. The whole world just crazy, whacked upside down. Good versus evil. Evil is good. Good is evil. That kind of stuff. So they're bringing this into Connecticut, and I heard over Thanksgiving when I was talking to my family that they either have them or have started to build them on exit ramps on some of the highways. Not where I am, but more southern Connecticut, where most of the traffic comes at Route 95, 9. But once they start it there, they'll start putting it everywhere. I mean, we're taxed so much for everything, and every time we turn around, there's a higher tax for this or a new tax for that. I mean, and look, we just can't. I can't afford to live here anymore. I would like to leave. My wife's not going to go. Her sister's here that she sees quite a bit, talks to quite a bit, pretty close. So in any case, this is probably coming to you too, because Trump has already okayed. We talked about this before. Saudi Arabia will be coming here to rework our arteries. Remake, repave, repair our highways, and they're not going to be hiring American workers. They will have Saudi Arabian workers, and we will be taxed going across that road. It's according to the Constitution, they're not supposed to be able to do that. We're not even supposed to have to register our cars. It was only for government vehicles. One lady took that right down to the freaking Supreme Court, because it is not constitutional. We're supposed to be able to go throughout this country unmolested without having to show papers or anything like that. That's what the Constitution allows, you the freedom to do. That's part of the freedom. But this isn't freedom anymore. This is not the country that I grew up in, and it's not the America that anybody else knows. It's, in many cases, God has been taken out of almost every place that we used to seeing it, or God in it, in our schools, prayers. Anyway, but so good news though, good news, because the Lord told us that these are the times, that like in the days of Noah, that will happen, and we will see it. And I still think there's quite a lot more to see. So Gird up, brothers and sisters. Gird up. Get your, don't even talk to me about, yeah, I better put my armor on, or yeah, I'm not going to take it off anymore. Man, once you know about that armor, there shouldn't be any more discussion. That should be on all the time, and you should know that it's on. Those are the things that you're going to have to trust in, including Jesus Christ, to get through these days. There's no way you're going to get through it by yourself. No, not on your own. No. So let's go on. Let's go to natural news. Global dimming. Scheme unveiled. Scientists want to chemtrail the atmosphere with smog in the name of saving the planet. Well, howdy ho ho. Somebody is now coming out and saying that they want the chemtrail. Well, how about they've been doing it since the 70s, probably even before that. And so anyways, according to Michael, many of us here at Natural News never thought this day would come. The day when the mainstream media finally decided to tell the truth about the existence of chemtrails. But while it's now open knowledge that chemtrails are real, the public still isn't being told the truth about their actual purpose. So intentionally blocking out the sun with chemical aerosols, we're now being told, could be a critical tool for stopping global warming or climate change or whatever they're calling this hysterical conspiracy theory these days. Except there's just one problem. People, animal, and plants need the sun, which everyone who took elementary school knows well. Okay, yeah, the photosynthesis thing, we all been taught. One of the primary components of which is unobstructed natural sunlight. Humans also require natural exposure to the sun's ultraviolet rays, which trigger the 25 hydroxyvitamin D, the prohormone, more popularly known as vitamin D in people's bodies. Hey, every time I see the sun, I am a lot more energized. That's all I know. I am energized more. You get, of course, we did have a sunny day today, parts of it, but it has been absent the past 2.5, 3 days. People just dragging their butts around. There's no energy, and who knows? Well, we do know a couple things that they put into chemtrails. I mean, I couldn't tell you right now exactly what that does to people, but they're talking about lip nodes and other stuff. But they're talking about the aluminum powder that they're putting in. They're talking about that in the California fires, making the fires there so much hotter. Is this aluminum powder that they're being sprayed into the atmosphere? And then the barium, and I don't know exactly what that does, but and there's a couple other things. Yeah, we all know what, the New World Order, what they want, what they're trying to, do to this whole world. Be prepared, have food and water put aside. Don't take these, people give dates all the time, and I don't pay much attention to those dates. But I do try to be prepared. I've been, prepping, for a couple of years now. I mean, I don't have much food. I didn't have much money to buy any food, but I do have some put away. And I have a lot of water put away. You could at least, even though it's got fluoride in it, you could take that water and then you can filter it. I bought a Berkey filter years ago when I had the money at one time, and it didn't last very long, but still have that that Berkey filter, and it's got a fluoride filter on it, so it'll take out all that stuff. Those filters can get expensive. I mean, if you can afford to buy them now. But that's what you need. Bots. Yeah. And I also heard about, I don't know if you heard about that, Andrew, Reverend Michelle Hawkins, I guess it's man now too, Reverend Michelle Hawkins' man, who put out a video on that fluoride in the tap water and the nanobots and all that stuff. And people, just keep this in the back of your mind. Try and stay away from the tap water, especially if it's being, what do you call it, recycled and refiltered in your nearest. I forget what they call them, man. Water treatment plants. That's what they call them. Yeah, and they can't, supposedly, and they tell you that they can't always get out the chemicals, the pharmaceuticals that are in these waters, in the treatment plants. For some reason, they're saying anyway that they can't get them out. So all these people who are throwing their prescriptions down the toilet, and not just that, I mean, people, extricate in the water in those things, and that's how it gets in there too. So the next best thing, and the only thing for me, man, from now on, is praying to the Lord. He has answered so many prayers. I mean, I could, and I probably will. I'll probably come out on a weekend or something, just tell you how many prayers, even small things that I, took for granted, that he answered as proof. I don't know, that's proof enough for me. Things that he answered, nobody else could have done in the time that he did it and in the fashion that he did it. No one else could have done it. No, it doesn't work that way. It's not chance. No, it doesn't happen that way. Chance happens more sporadically and not in anybody's time. No, that was planned. It was answered. And all you have to do is pray. Pray and give the Lord your heart, for Pete's sake. Fill your guts. That's what he wants. He wants a relationship with you. And I come to find out that, the more I try to figure out a relationship with him, the more interested it becomes, and the closer I get. And we all can have that. I do remember that, Andrew. Yeah, they've been doing it for years with the dental practice and all that. The fluoride in the toothpaste. It's in a lot of things. It is in your toothpaste. Man, you have to pray on everything. Pray for my food all the time. I mean, just sometimes I can't afford to buy something other than what's available at the time, and sometimes it's cheap prepared foods, and we can go into how and where they make those darn things, and then make it affordable for you or in one place for you. I mean, why not get your food at Walmart? You might end up living there anyway. So anyway, yeah, FEMA camps, FEMA Walmarts. Anyway, we'll just go on. Here's some more news before we get on another babble. Ukraine deploys reservists to 10 border provinces as president warns of Russian invasion. So while we're listening to, Tijuana and the so-called immigrant caravan that's there and supposedly came over the border, and where was the other one? San Diego that supposedly came over the border, and M13 has been found in the caravan, all that stuff, and then you got the Texas border, all that stuff. Then you got, the Spratly Islands with China and all this other stuff, the tariff wars. Yeah, in the meantime, they're setting up this thing. Ukraine's been in the news quite a bit, but ramped up like everything else. Rumors of wars, people. Rumors of wars. Go read Matthew 24 and go read Luke. It's going to talk about these signs, these conditions that are going to be in the last days. And of course, we've always just about had rumors of war, at least ever since I've been around. Rumors of war and wars. So just letting you know what's going on so that you're not surprised about it. I mean, people that I know, though, they know what's going on. I'm just hoping the Lord sends or puts someone in front of me to use me for him, to warn these people, then that's a good thing. That's all I'm trying to do. And like this here, China warns U.S. trade war could escalate into a Great Depression and World War. So two things I got to say about that headline. First of all, is the Great Depression. If you read that, if you got that X-22 report that I sent you, what's Wednesday? Probably did it on Monday. If not, I put it out separately on Sunday. It was that important. He talks about everyone getting ready for a reset of the economy. They're just going to reset everything, start from zero, just black it all out. That, my friends, would be a Great Depression. Then most likely World War III. How is she going to get? How has the U.S. economy normally been fixing itself or something like that? I mean, the big war machine, right? We're constantly at war, or we're selling armaments and military equipment to other people. It's a big enterprise. It's big revenue. So what I mean, if America gets taken down with this economic collapse, maybe even pinpointed or selected blackouts, EMP attacks, who knows? Maybe somebody will nuke New York, nuke the UK, London. I mean, it's in the Illuminati cards. Even if that happened to start all this, it would all be prophetic. It will happen. A world war? Yeah, we're doing the same thing to China that we did to Japan just prior to World War II. If you remember, we sanctioned Japan from oil. I don't know what reason, but we did sanction them. That means that they couldn't get any more oil. And they only had 6 months of oil left. And so, just figure, if you're in this country, if this is your country, and you have 6 months before your entire civilization stops because you're so reliant on oil, and you don't produce it, so you have to import it. And so the people that import it now say they're not going to give you any more unless you change this, that, or the other thing. And so you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. So you either wait out or change your society, or you die as a nation in 6 months, or you go to war. You go to war with the remaining 6 months of oil of reserves that you have, and you hope that you can win. Right? Well, that's what happened. That's why Japan became our enemy. So we're trying to do the same thing with China, with other countries. We're sanctioning this oil. Why do you think America goes after all these oil-rich companies like Venezuela, and trying to convince them? I don't know. It's all a big conspiracy thing. So the U.S. is constantly, building up that oil. We have oil in this country alone that we make ourselves. All this other, because we sell oil from our own, we make, and then we import it too. I mean, what is it? Iraq? Was it Iraq? Lately, it just offered to pay us in oil, to pay us back for coming over and helping them depose Hussein and keep a military presence there. They want to pay us in oil. We don't need the oil, but we'll take it. Yeah. Link. Yeah, all right. I'll look at that article. Oil prices have fallen. They've fallen before. They were below. Man, they were down in the small single digits. What, 2 years ago? When I was doing news with Shepherds, maybe it was 3 years ago. Yeah, the price per barrel. I mean, there was at one time that they were getting up to almost $100 a barrel, and we were watching it at in the teens, dropping to the teens, and then it slowly started going up again. And they were still producing just as much oil. So, anyways, however that works, that's what was going on there. So yeah, that's the petrodollar that keeps this world going. Apparently, like these other countries, they don't make money. Okay, like we do, like the Federal Reserve does. They will make money. They will, just keep making sheets of money over and over again. But countries, whatever money they have, that's it, unless it's gold or silver. So the paper money, that's it. They can't make any more. I guess it's some kind of rule. And that's what's going on in Venezuela. Other countries, I think it was the ones to the left of them, I don't know who it was, went into their country and bought up all these things and brought it across the border of Venezuela, and then made, when the people came across the border, and you heard about that year and a half ago, to buy just essential things like, tea paper and other stuff that they needed for hospitals and just things that we take totally for granted. And what they did is that they made them pay only in their money, their country's money. So now all this money is leaving their country. And they're not going to get it back. They can't print anymore. So now the border countries around Venezuela now have all the money, or a good majority of the money of the people in Venezuela. So you can see what that leads to. Big, big problems. And that's what's happening in Venezuela. That used to be just like when it was with, what's his name, Gaddafi in Libya. I mean, their people were, that was another oil-rich country, and their, Gaddafi gave a lot of things to their people. The people loved him. They didn't hate him. They loved him. He did a lot of things for those people. And same with the president, or whoever you call him, in Venezuela. They didn't want to give the money back to big oil companies, big oil deals. They gave it to the people first. And what happened to Libya? Well, guess what? The Clinton Foundation went in there and said, no, you don't. That's why he was killed. That's why that's why Venezuela is hurting right now. Outside influence. Anyways. Sorry I got off on that trail, but that had to be told. That's what's going on, man. Gotta watch for this big reset. And it's the second time I heard the date of December 5th. Second time. And I know it's up here somewhere. Let's get by things that I got left here pretty quick. This is from News Punch. Las Vegas man develops Guillain-Barré syndrome after receiving a flu shot. Okay, just wanted to put that one in there. Okay, things that are in flu shots. Things are not going to tell you, but you need to read the ingredients. Okay, they put more than just the flu in these shots. Got a lot of people walking around in the nursing home that I'm working in. They have to wear a mask because they refuse to take the flu shot. So now they got to wear a mask from now until April. That's trying to be remedied. But all these nurses, they have to take it in order to continue in their job. Crazy stuff, man, that their rules and laws that they're making to force people into these chemicals and other things that are in everything. Not just flu shots, in your food, in the prep food, and everything. In your water, in your air. I mean, I'm so shocked that people do not see that. I'm just shocked. And I think it's those people who are in their little bubble watching mainstream media and won't turn to anything else. They take everything else for whatever they say. Anyways, this is the first time I've ever heard Ivanka, is that how you pronounce her name? Ivanka Trump speak out. Actually, it's the second time. So this is from the week. She said that there is no equivalency between her email scandal and Hillary's scandal. Absolutely. A1, right? Oh, yep. You're absolutely right. There's no comparison whatsoever. Clinton was passing secrets to the Chinese. Okay? They were passing top secret information on private servers. Ivanka Trump was passing emails in the White House. But anyway, there was no comparison. So, the Democrats tried to make the comparison because they want to freaking get Trump out, plain and simple. And they're trying to use any and all excuses possible. But wait till you hear this. This is going to be a nightmare. Somebody know how I can get onto, there I said, Aaron's finally on YouTube. All right. So does anyone know how to, what is it, C-SPAN that covers the House and or Senate meetings? Because this lady now, Democrats officially nominate Nancy Pelosi for House Speaker. I don't know if this is old or not. Wasn't she just elected for that? So how can you be nominated for it if she's been elected? But in any case, this is a crazy woman. Have you ever heard her speak? I can't follow the stuff that she says, and she goes off topic, every other third word, and you have no idea what the heck she's saying. And it's not about the subject she was asked about. So I would like to see this funny farm, backwater zoo, whatever. I want to see it in action. I want to see this go down. I want to see them. Psalms 91, okay? We will see these people fall by our side, and that's what I want to see. Okay? I watch them go down in flames. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm going to talk about her. Her and Maxine Waters. $7 million house on a freaking $150,000 income. Whatever. Guess who's going to the Congress? Google CEO Sundar Pichai will finally address the company's alleged political bias before Congress. Here is that date. This is where I saw this date again. So, this Google CEO will appear at a December 5th House Judiciary Committee hearing on the company's data collection use and filtering practices. Okay, the hearing comes in the wake of a leaked video of a Google meeting showing top executives laminating President Trump's election and follows the thread of 3 previous Judiciary Committee hearings centered around big tech filtering and bias. I would love to hear those too. This guy he looks like he's got a smirk on his face right now. I would like to see his face in front of the congressional hearing. Anyway. So, guess who's going to Congress? CEO Google, Sundar Pichai. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name, but that's how I'm reading it. Anyway. Polio. We talked about this before, man, and it hasn't gone away. It's spreading. Polio-like disease continues to spread as the CDC identifies 31 states, man, with 116 confirmed cases. Now, this is the... In any case, I saw another article out there, too. I didn't pick it up, but I mentioned something about America not going through any kind of economic collapse, but going through a disease, a pestilence-type collapse. With all these diseases that were, thought to have been eradicated and gone, But we let them all back in through the southern border, or at least Obama did. There's a couple things. I can't think of them right now, but what was that, TB? We used to get the TB shots when we were in school. The little things that marked your freaking arm forever. Yeah, so there you go, man. States with confirmed cases, this AFM. AFM. There are now 286 cases of possible and confirmed acute flaccid mellitus in the United States this year. There you go. There's the map. It's not in my state yet, but it's surrounding us. So where's the majority of them? See 15 in Colorado. All that. 14 in Texas. Figured there'd be a lot there, but I figured there'd be a lot more up here in Missouri. Anyway, there you go, folks. And while you have that, you have this from the End Time Headlines. 419 cases of Ebola reported in the Congo as deadly disease spreads. You remember the last time that this thing happened? They had an outbreak then too, and it was a strain that they were unfamiliar with. But guess what? Who came to the rescue? Who came to the rescue? Remember that? These people actually were able to get on planes and fly across the Atlantic. Who allowed that? When they know that there was an outbreak there. Who allowed that? Well, who came to the rescue? Was it Bill Gates? Is that his name? Yeah, the one who came with all the experimental doses, only had 3 of them. So, yeah, I'll just put it right here. Andrew. PGN Space Live. That's it. PGN Live. And that'll bring you to my Pine Grove News emblem. Just click on that, and you should see it live there on YouTube. Yeah, Bill Gates. I mean, doesn't he hold the patents on the cures and the disease for Ebola? And obviously now the flu shots. I guess he took that over too, bought all that. What else is he buying? I mean, he's part of this elite group, and you need to be careful with this guy. He has some, obviously quite a bit of money, and apparently bored. Going to see how people, wiggle and scream and yell in agony from diseases. I mean, is that going to be his entertainment? Don't think that won't happen. These people have reprobate minds, man. They're delusional. They're crazy. They've got demons. Yeah, something like that. With no natural affection. Appointed to them at all. That's in the Bible too. Those things will be there too. No. I'm sorry, I didn't post it. No, P, as in Pine Grove News. PGN Live. Pine Grove Live. You're welcome. And let's see what else we got here. So we got, that in the Congo, which we had last year, and a couple 3 people got on planes and were able to come to the United States with this disease. That is the Petri dish over there, Africa. You do know that, right? That's where they study these diseases, and they set them free, and, after they, come up with some kind of a cure that might work. But anyways, this news is terrible, and this talk about topsy-turvy, upside down. Good versus good, is evil, evil is good. Father refuses to allow his 6-year-old son to dress like a girl. Now he's been charged with child abuse. Anybody guess where that happened? Anybody? In Texas. One place I would think that it wouldn't happen. There you have it. A Texas father in the middle of his high-stakes legal battle that could end in him losing his son. Jeffrey Younger has been charged with child abuse for not affirming his ex-wife's decision to raise their son James as a girl. Freaking delusional woman. This is the problem with a lot of these things. It's the parents that once these kids, because my son too, I've told you about this before. My son, had his, just like my daughters had their little spurts, their little curiosities. He had 2 sisters, and he had his mother. Okay, so he walked around in high heels a couple times and carried a purse. And though I kind of, you know, how do you put it? Well, I didn't sanction it, that's for sure. I didn't really get on his case either because his mother told me, hey, it's just a spurt, it's just a phase. And so, with, bated breath, I mean, I let it happen. And he's perfectly fine. It's these freaking parents who get on this thing and then they freaking feed it. They feed it. And this is the problem. I'm sorry, people. You're not born with these things. You're either born with an innie or an outie. You're born male or female. There is no being born transgender. There's no being born homosexual or lesbian. Nope, nope, nope. That is a lifestyle change. That is a lifestyle change. It's not a physical characteristic of a boy or a girl. Sorry. Wake up. Yeah, and this one is okay. One more after this, but this is, this is typical. What's going to be, happens, continues to happen, no matter how many laws. Women crashes on the highway while watching Netflix. I mean, was she the only one in the car? I didn't read the story. Sometimes I really just don't want to read these things. But she crashed on an interstate, okay, while watching Netflix. I hope that they start coming out with serious consequences for these things. These people, they're just lost in these things, in these phones, and in these computers, unfortunately. Yes, it can be a benefit, but if you let it rule your life, if you make it an idol, you're already, heading in the wrong direction. If you make something more than, anyways, you know what I mean. Let's go to the last story here from 911, breaking 911. MS-13 gang, and I think I've already told you about this. We were talking about the border, the Tijuana border over there, and what is it, Southern California. This gang member says that he traveled with the migrant caravan to California. Okay, yeah, we already know that they were really, came over the border before we actually started paying really close attention to it. Thank God Trump was, elected, or else it'd still be happening. These MS-13 gang members are here. It's already too late. They've already, committed a number of crimes. And apparently what these gangs are specifically bred to do, I guess you could put it that way, is to kill judges and politicians and people like that. Okay? Don't know why. That's what I heard. And you remember Fast and Furious, right? Where Obama gave the cartel and these gangs guns. Well, it wasn't supposed to go that way, of course. It was just supposed to be some, gun deal like what happened in Benghazi. Well, that went, look what happened there. That went freaking south, and, a couple of our Marines and a senator was killed, okay? And they could have been saved just to cover up the fact of some gun trafficking. And what happened in Fast and Furious? That went south. And then the gang members and the drug cartels got them. Okay? You've heard me talk about the war on drugs. Okay? What is the war on drugs? It's to take control of the traffic. Has been from the very beginning, because that's where all the money is. You wonder why? Since what? Since, who was that guy in Noriega? The country, in, I think it was the Philippines, wasn't it? Was it the Philippines that we went and invaded? It wasn't Grenada. That was about the kids in the high school. I mean, in the colleges there. What was that island that he invaded? Was it the Philippines and their president and arrested him? It was about the drugs. But anyway, we saw that on, TV briefly. That is the war on drugs. it's not, I mean, we took over the poppy fields. 60% of the world's opiate comes from Afghanistan and their poppy fields. Okay? And our military guard those fields. They do. With that, people, there you go. It's Wednesday. Evening's almost done or just beginning. I hope you have a blessed evening. All I can say is, man, and these days, just take your family, take your loved ones, and hold them close. Keep them at arm's length. Know where they are, and please forgive them. And I don't know, don't take offense so much. Don't be offended so much and so quickly. This family is all you have. And if you don't have family, you've got friends that are close and you want to keep somebody close by. You want to keep your loved ones close by. You want to protect them. You want to let them know what's going on and that they're all, in peril if they go about their own way. Just, and if they don't understand that in the beginning, just keep them close. Just know where they are. Have their phone numbers. Know how to get to them quickly. Just love them. Love them and don't let them get too far away from you. You'll regret it. Keep them close. Forgive. Big word. Okay? I'm going to use that forgive word tonight. You need to forgive. You want to be set free? Learn to forgive. I mean, it took me quite a number of years. It was the only thing left that I had to forgive, but I finally did it. That was my father, who I don't know. Only have recollections and faint images in my head, and they weren't good ones. And I know what he did to my mother and what he did to me, but I finally forgave him. And then I knew freedom. And then I forgave everybody. Everyone was forgiven, and I had no more stress. I finally had peace. That's true freedom. God bless you all. And I wish you all the same. I wish and I pray every day that you all can have that. Peace out, everybody.